What a great day for a podcast. And I want to start this podcast with one simple question. Now, we're going to have a guest tonight. His name is Gordon Getluck, and he is a genius when it comes to testing things. I can't wait to pick his brain with you about some things. But my question to start off the evening is this. And it's rhetorical. You don't have to answer in the chat or in the comments. Just answer it in your mind. Let it roll over in your mind just a little bit. The question is, have I mentioned that my Texas Rangers are the defending World Series champions? Have I brought it up lately? Should I bring that up and talk about it more on my videos? Do you think I should do that? I probably should, shouldn't I? I should probably just remind people that the Texas Rangers are the defending World Series champions. Yeah, I should probably talk about that more than I do. What do you think? I'm just kidding. Okay, great evening to talk about the Mevo Core, because that's tonight's topic on the Streamology Podcast. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the lenses that work on it. We're going to talk with Gordon in just a little bit about some of the things that he has found in his extensive testing of the product itself, of the software that supports the product. We're going to talk at great length about some of the ways that he has used it and has set it up and continues to. Since the last time we were here, since the last podcast, I have seen the Mevo Core be a lightning rod for both praise and criticism. And since more users have gotten it in their hands, more people are seeing just what it's capable of. And the potential there is beginning to be fleshed out. I saw I think it was a 12U baseball game clip today about, goodness gracious, it was probably mid-afternoon today, early afternoon, a beautifully lit field. I mean, sunshine field. It was a gorgeous part of the day. Mevo Core set up behind home plate, and this clip was just a hit on the right-hand side of the infield, past the pitcher, up through into shallow right field. But it was just a beautiful shot of what the Mevo Core is capable of when posted up, even on a small field, little kid field. What a beautiful picture it was for those streaming youth sports. And so I know that there are a lot of folks who have enjoyed this already. As a matter of fact, I streamed our high school game last week, the tandem of Mevo Core and YOLO Box Ultra. The Ultra is capable of bringing in the Mevo Core via HDMI, and so it is a wired connection to its HDMI output from the Mevo Core. Had I had enough upload speed, I could have streamed it in 4K. As a matter of fact, this podcast, if you're watching currently on the live, you're watching a 4K live stream because I have the Core through HDMI into the YOLO Box Ultra, and I am streaming at 4K. I'm doing so at 24 frames per second. But I do most of my recording and streaming at 24 frames per second. It's just my own personal preference. I like a little bit of natural blur to show that motion. A lot of folks say if it's not 60 frames per second, they just don't want it. I'm not such a stickler for that kind of thing. I have dropped 0 frames so far. This is just my home internet connection. It is a fiber optic connection, but it's just my home connection, and I'm very well pleased with the ability to, in HEVC, be able to stream a 4K stream for this podcast. It's a whole lot of fun, and so I'm going to be releasing a video highlighting that tandem for baseball streaming. I thought I would have it ready for in the morning. It's not quite finished, but as soon as I can get it out, I will get that video on the main channel released so that you can see what it looks like. I will go ahead and admit to you folks who are watching the Streamology Podcast, I probably won't admit to this on the channel itself, but I forgot to switch the Ultra over to 4K for that baseball stream. It was in 1080, and so when I did my my crops, my presets I punched in. They didn't look near as good as I hoped they would. And I was hoping to get to redo that night before last for baseball. Monsoon comes through. Last night we were going to reschedule the games, but it just kept on raining, so we didn't get to play any baseball between then and now, so I didn't get a chance to do it. So, all right. I need to quit rambling and get on to our guest, but he came in and left, and so my picture-in-picture that I had all set up and nice and tidy now doesn't work, so let me reset that up right quick, and I'll get Gordon his beautiful mug in front of you, and we'll start this discussion. So let me get a little bit of picture-in-picture here. Let's do a side-by-side, which is one of the beautiful things that the Yellow Box Ultra offers me. It allows us to go side-by-side here. I don't necessarily like the border, but I do like bringing it on up. Let's get... Nope, he needs to be bigger. I need to be smaller. Can we swap video? Yes, we can swap video. That is just absolutely fantastic. You know what? Sometimes technology just amazes me. Get that video turned on for, where is it? Guess. Gordon, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing just great. How are you?
I am doing very well. It's been a fantastic day. Burn up the roads a little bit today, but it's been beautiful after so many days of rain.
We had kind of monsoon weather here for a little while too.
Yeah, y'all had some rough weather.
I want to
Did you
try
get any
not.
tornadoes where you are?
No, that was more to the east of us.
Okay.
But we get our fair share though.
Yes, you do. You are Tornado
Trust me.
Alley.
We're in central Arkansas, if anybody's wondering.
Yes, yes.
Um,
And so you're probably
I guess you can
5
hear me
hours
all
from
right.
me. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, about that.
Let me go back into the comments and make sure folks can hear you as well.
I can turn me up a little bit.
If you want to, that's fine. You're not blowing me out by any means.
Check, check.
Yeah, you sound great to me.
Hopefully that's a little better.
Okay.
Using the Rode Wireless Go today. One of my
Very
favorite
nice.
little microphones for it just works.
It works everywhere you put it, doesn't it?
Plugs right in, plugs into a Mevo camera, and you got sound.
Yes, yes. Use that one at church.
Easy.
Use that one at baseball. Use it just about anywhere you go, and it's just going to perform. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. It's really great setup.
All right, so I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction for you, Gordon. You may recognize the name but not the face, because a lot of our viewers who come along and watch this either tonight or after it's just a video instead of a podcast, they're going to recognize that you've answered their question on the Mevo customer group on Facebook. No matter what the topic is, you have an incredible amount of knowledge, and you're willing to weigh in on so many different things. And I so appreciate that about you, because you don't mind taking the time. You're very patient with folks, and you just simply answer based on your experience, usually the very correct answer for whatever their need is.
I try to stick to what I know about. If I'm confident about something, I'll comment about it.
Yeah. Well,
there are a few subjects that I'm not really an expert on. One is Facebook streaming, and I always steer clear of those ones.
I do too. Yeah, that's just a puzzle. They've done so many changes, and you can't keep up with it.
Not much you can do about, other than if you've done everything that you're supposed to. Sometimes that's not enough.
Yeah. So you've been sitting here ever since this podcast went live, and so you heard my ridiculous question to start the night. Did you know that my Texas Rangers were defending World Series champions? You're actually close enough to the DFW area to be a Rangers fan, are you?
I am, but they don't black me out, so as far as I know. So that's a good thing. They do black me out. They do black me out on the Dallas Stars games.
Yeah.
So
my oldest son lives up there and loves being a part of all things Dallas sports.
Well, I don't know if you knew, but I'm a Canadian. So I grew up playing hockey in my younger years. So, hockey is very much a part of what I watch.
Absolutely. I'm surprised you don't find somebody around and stream it.
Well, there is a hockey rink in Little Rock. I don't know. We used to have a team called the River Blades, but we don't have one anymore. It was a kind of a semi-professional team.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but that's all thing of the past. I don't know if we'll get another one.
So, with a background in hockey, with all the experience you have that helps folks on the Mevo customer group, can I ask you, where does your video setup experience come from?
Well, I kind of learned on my own with just a Mevo Plus. I'm first and foremost an audio guy. In fact, okay. I was developing audio software for a guy that had a digital interface that plugged into Pocket PCs. If anybody remembers the Pocket PC.
I do.
Well, we had a compact flash card and he needed software development for that. So I volunteered because I was just, I worked for many years in business doing computer programming, but I wasn't able to do any fun stuff like write programs that I like to work on. So I started learning C++ and I developed this software. So,
wow.
So anyway, I got into stereo recording as a part of that. And then I have a mastering business on the side that I do. Okay. And because of that, I was focused on after the Pocket PC thing kind of ran its course, I focused more on services for people, audio services for getting their CDs ready so they would sound great on all speaker systems.
Okay.
And so I did that for a good while. And then in 2018, this Mevo camera came along, or it's the second generation camera. I was a little late to the Mevo game at that point, but this was in 2018, and I already had an iPad Pro. And so I learned about this Mevo camera, and I thought, well, I can start doing video with my audio stuff. So I'm just gonna, try to do some video and learn what I can about video. Okay. So in 2018, I started that, and I was learning also at the same time about a one stereo microphone recording technique. And so I was watching a series on YouTube, and there was an engineer on there that was making just some amazing recordings just with one microphone. And it was just they set up and arranged all around the microphone, just like in the 1950s when they only had one microphone to record around. They would do that, and I set everybody up around on the microphone to put the bass amplifier underneath the microphone. The drums were kind of panned towards the middle because I had them in the middle. Okay. And then I did my first kind of recording using the Mevo and recording a band in my living room, and it turned out quite amazing, I thought. So and the beauty of it is that you just set it up and you record, and once you do your take, maybe you do one or two takes and you're done. And and there's people that do music production, and they can spend, they can spend 6 months to a year on just working on a CD. And
yeah,
this way of working is so quick.
And it's been one of the great benefits, and it takes, whether you're talking about audio or video, it's been one of the great benefits of just compacting it and making it so fast and easy to get a product out.
Yeah, exactly. So, that was my first start into everything. And then when Mevo Multicam came along, I started thinking about, well, now I can use my iPad to record multiple cameras.
Yeah.
How cool would that be? I could go record a band, and I could record the drummer, when he does his drum fills, I could cut over to that. And the guitar player, if he's playing something cool on the guitar, I can cut to him, or, have it and have
Now you're
a
saying
dynamic
you
program that
can
way.
or you could, but I'm gonna go ahead and let folks know you do. As a matter of fact, you've been gracious enough to send a little bit of video, and we're going to actually watch that in just a little bit. And so you can talk us through kind of what's happening there, what you're using. Now, you're talking about audio and how simple it has become compared to maybe what it used to be. You sent me a picture of what your audio setup looks like, and I'm gonna put that over the screen right quick. I'm not going to leave it there.
Oh, great.
Can you see what we see now? Are you seeing
I can see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I'm not going to ask you to talk all the way through it, but I just want to compare. You're saying it's really simple now, and I look at this picture and I think, oh.
Well,
brother, that does not look real simple to me.
Well, imagine, if you will, that same thing, and instead of that one microphone, there may be 10 other microphones on a stage miking everybody, and then you trying to mix it all while the program is going on and you're webcasting it. That seems like my worst nightmare.
More difficult, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A little bit more stressful.
I imagine it would be. That's good
but
stuff.
The beauty of the one microphone technique is you're getting what the audience is hearing, and you're getting a good stereo representation of it.
That's really impressive. And I'm glad to hear you put it that way. You hear what the audience hears. And isn't that the goal? Whether we're recording or whether we're streaming, we want to reproduce what it would be live.
Yes, exactly. And one of my goals with my video productions is to have the best sound. I really want to stand out as far as the quality of sound. So that's kind of one of the things I really put a lot of effort into.
Okay. So I have the question about the Mevo customer group and all the different kinds of questions that you answer. And I was going to ask, which is your favorite kind of question to answer? But if you're really an audiophile like you've described, then I would imagine it would be the audio questions that you would kind of lean toward.
Yes, that's natural, because I think I have more experience with that. Yeah. And so I tend to know how things work, and, even the electrical stuff, how everything kind of works together.
Yeah, that's good.
And how to make things sound good with a camera setup if you're using a mixer and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, before we get into the video of what you've sent, I do want to ask about the time you spent testing. So there was a group of us that received prototypes of the Mevo Core, and we're not going to get into anything there that would get us in trouble, that would violate our NDA. But I do want folks to understand this. In that set of testing, as we pitched ideas back and forth, as we gave feedback, you're that one guy that would find this piece that did work right or didn't work right and report back to the group. And then the folks at Logitech Mevo could take that kind of feedback and say, oh, we didn't realize this piece of software didn't work the way we thought it did, or the hardware was struggling with this, or whatever it was. And then they would fix it so that the Mevo Core people buy on B&H or Mevo's website or Amazon, and they get shipped to their house. That version of the Mevo Core that they hold in their hands now works as well as it does, largely in part because of the things you found as you went through that testing process. So how long did you actually test this little camera? Do you remember?
Well, first off, let me say I don't want to take credit for everything.
Well, I don't mean just to leave
certainly
the others out, because Ryan and Chance and Jared and all those other guys were great about it too. But
yes, well, I probably put more time. I'm guessing that I put more time into it. I don't know what the other guys, they're working jobs. I have more time on my hands here at home, so that kind of
that's fair.
paid a dividend.
Yeah.
But as far as the testing, I guess we started testing about a year ago. It was around April or late March.
Wow.
Yeah. When I was scrolling back through some messages and stuff, and I kind of came up with that timeline. Yeah. But initially, there was kind of two parts to it. We got a camera initially, and then we sent one back, and then we got another one. Right. But there was a time interval where I didn't have one. So yes, for a while,
that battery issue with yours.
Well, yes, with mine there was a battery issue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
But
so for the company,
but I do Mevo multicam.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was doing testing with Mevo multicam and the Mevo starts anyway, you know. Mm-hmm. And so I report, since they're working on the software, just as a user, I'm reporting stuff to them that doesn't seem right or could be improved. You know, it works, but it could be improved. I'll let them know.
Which is always so helpful to them, because there's no way they can put it in all the different scenarios that we do. I mean, mine is different than yours. I pick mine up and I stream mostly. Sometimes I record because I do make videos with it, but you do a lot of recording. And so you're finding things out about the recording process that I don't see when I'm on the streaming side of things.
Yeah, and every time I take my setup out to record, I always find out something that maybe I need to do differently. Maybe it's not an issue with the Mevo cameras at all, but maybe there's something that I could do to improve my setup, reduce the amount of gear I'm taking, and something.
Yeah.
Oh, just a technique to remember all the parts you need to take with you. I lay all my stuff out in the living room the day before. You know, I lay it out. Okay, I got this power supply. I'm taking this and this and this and this. And do I have all the things I need to do for this to work?
Yes.
And sometimes it's a little different setup.
Half a mile from the baseball field. So if I forget it, I can run home real quick. But a lot of folks don't have that luxury. And if they forget it, they're stuck.
Well, it's not uncommon for me to have an hour or an hour and a half commute to wherever I'm going.
Yeah. So you do bands. You record. You set up the audio, the video. It's all kind of within your purview there. And before we get into that, I want to ask one more question. Are you a musician as well?
Well, I'm kind of a self-retired musician. I used to play in a band with I started out playing bass with a drummer in a backing Christian groups in Canada, where I'm from, and then years later I got into a group with kind of a family group with one of my brother-in-laws was a singer and songwriter and played guitar. And so having had piano lessons as a younger child, I knew my way around on a keyboard enough to kind of accompany him, but I'm not saying I was really real good at it. Not really confident going off and playing a solo on the piano, if you know what I mean. But I could hit the chords and keep time with the guitar, and it sounded good. But I wouldn't say that I was an ace musician.
Yeah, right. All that feeds into your ability to produce, because that's what you're doing. When you set up the audio, you set up the video, you're cutting shots, and it's oftentimes in front of the stage, and so you're trying to make sure that anybody that watches after the live show is over, or if you have the chance to stream, and I know you don't always have the chance to stream, but what they get to see and what they get to hear, that it is actually as close to what it was if you were there in person. And so I'm going to go ahead and roll one of the clips that you sent to me. There's no audio to them because I didn't know if we'd get in trouble for playing whatever they're covering. But you just talk through it as much as you want to. I'll be quiet and you talk through this.
Okay. Okay, so here we are with the Laowa wide angle lens, and I'm using the Mevo Core. Okay, so I just zoomed in digitally there. Now that particular lens is a wide angle lens, so I was very close to the band and the guitars because of the curvature of the lens. You can see it kind of exaggerates the length of the guitar a bit. So what I learned from that experience was pull the camera back and zoom in more. So I kind of learned with using that lens not to get too close. That was kind of something that I adjusted while that program was going on.
Okay.
And so this is a low lighting condition.
Yeah, very low light. I saw that clip. As you adjusted some things.
Yeah, it was kind of subdued lighting, different colors and stuff, but the camera did well in that situation. Okay, so here I am moving the camera.
Okay, that was a physical
It looks like I moved it. It was sitting on a table on a stand, on a Mevo stand, and I rotated it a little bit to pick up both the bass player and the guitar player. Now this one here is, I think this is the Olympus lens. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because this is crop and zoom. So I'm actually doing zoom on, I think I'm doing zoom on the camera. And here I'm using the software to refocus it. So this is one thing I've learned to do. Do a zoom and then do a refocus.
Yeah.
Okay, so I move the camera around, and I got a shot of the drummer here. And of course, I had to get it ready and set up the shot by anytime you move the camera, the zoom capability and the focusing capability, you got to check everything and make sure it's in focus. So that is one of the challenges with these lenses, is to keeping them in focus always.
Yeah.
Here's another side view, moving the camera again. And these are all of these shots are done on Mevo Core cameras. There's two being used in this particular type of a setup, and I was moving one around. And so that's what you were seeing with the drummer shot, and then this side view here is kind of interesting. On the left there, you can see my stereo microphone.
Okay, that's what that is.
Kind of an odd looking microphone, yeah. And I keep a cover on it for wind, even though I don't need it right there. But yeah, so those are all Mevo Core shots, and I thought that particular program turned out pretty well.
I tell you, knowing the kind of lighting that you're going to have in that setting, and to see how sharp and clear that set of lenses, that camera offered a picture to you, I am incredibly impressed with its low light capability.
Yeah, I guess because of the bigger sensor that the camera has, it's supposed to be better under low light conditions than the Mevo Start. And it's because of the size of the sensor is bigger.
So say again, for anybody that would watch later or that might be with us right now, what lenses were those two that you were talking about?
Oh, actually, I've got pictures for you.
Oh, okay.
If I could show them.
Absolutely.
Well, first off, here's a wide angle shot of me in the studio right now. Okay, so, and this is the Laowa lens. This is the 120 degree lens. Now, I'd like to see this lens on a baseball setup to see how it would do with a baseball game, because you could set this behind home plate and it would pick up everything on between first base and third base,
even on a very shallow backstop, right?
Yes. It has 120 degrees, and of course your diamond has 90 degrees, right? So it's going to be wider than the diamond is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the further you are away, the more it's going to pick up. But you could
how
put
far
it.
Are you from
you
it?
could
right
put
now?
it right. I am about 4 feet from it.
Okay.
So, and you can see it's picking up my computer monitors, which are about a foot away, that edge of it. And then it's picking up my poster over here. That's about, that is almost 90 degrees away, almost. I don't know, it's picking it up really quite well. Okay, here's some overlays. Okay, this is let me see if I can. I hope everybody can see that well enough. But this is the lens that was sent, and this is Olympus 14 -42 millimeter.
Great all around.
This has a zoom, and so it is. I use it mostly, I think. The wide angle lens is nice, and it's kind of a novelty thing. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a novelty, the wide angle lens. No, this is the what?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
This is the wide angle lens, the Laowa 6 millimeter, and that has the 120 degree viewing angle.
Oh, you said 6 millimeter.
And
I did that wrong.
Yes. Now they have some 8 or 8.5, and I think they have an 11, but or something like that. But this is the one that I happened to run across when I was looking for a lens, and different ones reviewed it. Photo Joseph was a guy on the internet that has reviewed some Evo stuff, and I saw him reviewing this, and he was very, very favorable about it. And I saw some architectural shots where people would take it, use it in a downtown area, and it would just pick up a nice view of the architecture and everything. So I was so impressed with it. I thought, well, I need to try this, and it can kind of be a replacement for my Mevo Plus. And that was kind of what I was thinking when I bought that lens. It was, I was thinking about phasing out the Mevo Plus and just going with the Mevo Starts and the Mevo Core. And for the wide angle shots, I was gonna not have those anymore, because I would put it in front of the band and I would get a nice wide view of the band. And I've done quite a bit of recording that way. So the wide angle lens was the answer to that.
So many folks have missed that wider angle lens that the Mevo Plus gave them, haven't they?
Yes, it was very good in that respect. When the Mevo Start came out, everybody was saying, well, it's not as wide as the, what happened, But anyway, with the Mevo Core, you can use whatever kind of lenses you want, and the sky's the limit. Really, there's so many different possibilities.
I have seen some of the guys that were in the testing pull in some long range lenses. I know that Ryan has I think he has the, what is it, the 45-200? It may be the 45-175, but he's got a great over the shoulder shot in Houchin
Yeah, and he's doing baseball.
Yeah, he's doing baseball. Yeah, in the Houchin Sports Network. You need to look that one up if you're looking for that over the shoulder shot. The Mevo Core does it well, and Houchin Sports Network shows it well over the shoulder, and he goes to it quite often during his games. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm enjoying doing my recording with the Mevo Core. That's Core cameras, that's for sure. Now, I'm still getting great shots with the Mevo Start. I mean, when I'm doing my video angles, I'm doing angle shots of the drummer most of the time. Those are Mevo Starts, and they're placed close enough to the drummer. They look quite remarkable still. So,
and you can still tuck them in.
The big thing about the Core and the lenses. Pardon me.
And you can tuck them into so many places. They're unobtrusive, and you can put them in and get that up close shot. Yeah.
Exactly. You can place it. Probably if you look back at my videos, you could see a Mevo Start was on the drummer on one of those shots from the front. You could probably see the Mevo Start on a boom stand up above the drummer and angled towards him. Yeah.
Yep.
So I do that quite often.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. I have taken a lot of your time, and I appreciate you giving so much of it, but I have one more Gordon story to tell. So in 2022, I think it's been a full 2 years ago, Mevo Multicam 151 came out, and I watched you post on the Mevo Multicam, Mevo customer group on Facebook.
Mevo
you had
group,
gone in and decided you were going to make this work, and you posted your success with a 4-window picture-in-picture shot. And I thought, nobody else takes the time to test that, to make sure it would work, and then put it out there for folks so they can say, you know what, I can do 4 shots on one screen at a time. That was pretty cool, Gordon.
Yeah. One thing I'd like to see Mevo do is either do preset shots for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if not, I would like a little more granularity with being able to position the squares. Mm-hmm. In other words, in some kind of Cartesian coordinate numbering setup, however they decide to do it. If I could just type in a number and, that would be position the triangle or the rectangle.
Because it's not always easy to do it like this.
I think I could line things up. Yeah, lining things up with the way it is right now is a little bit tricky. You can do it. It is. But it takes a little bit of time.
It does. It does. Well, thank you so much for spending so much time helping so many folks on the Mevo customer group, for spending time with us and helping us a little bit better understand this new product and some of the lenses that go with it. Gordon, thank you. You're an incredible asset to the community, and we appreciate you spending time with us tonight.
Well, I appreciate you having me on and as a guest and letting me share some of what I'm doing.
All right. Well, thank you for doing it, and y'all have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Thanks to Gordon for taking the time to be with us this evening. It was such a great visit. He has got so much great information rattling around in that noggin of his, and I'm so thankful that he took the time to visit with us. A couple of things to wrap our podcast up with this evening. Since our last visit, Mevo has issued bug fix updates to all three of their software products, the Mevo Go software, the Mevo software, and the Mevo Multicam software. They've also updated their icon. So bug fix, yes, but they've got cool new icons as well. Not sure of what the timing was of this one, but eMeet, the folks who made the StreamCam 1, they've pushed out a firmware update that looks to have improved image quality. I connected my eMeet StreamCam 1 to my YOLObox Ultra via NDI with a new OBSBot product that I'm testing. It's a UVC to, it is a UVC to NDI converter. You don't have to go through UVC to HDMI, HDMI to NDI. It's just one box that does all of it. And whenever I brought that into the YOLObox Ultra, the image quality was fantastic. And so it turns out they've pushed a firmware update and image quality has improved on the StreamCam 1. Nearstream has also updated their multicam software with some sweet transition upgrades. And there's a quick video out about that on their user group. But along with that, they have fixed their audio video sync issues. If you're a Nearstream VM33 or 46 user, you know that the longer you would stream or record, the further out of sync the audio and video might become, depending on whatever circumstances there were. Hard to replicate, but they've issued an update that fixes that. And there are no updates, or there were no updates when I checked yesterday for the OBSBot software, but their UVC to NDI converter was added to the product page this week, and you might look for the video I did of that a couple of days ago on the main channel. It is a pretty slick little device that will allow you to bring a non-NDI webcam capable, anything UVC. You can plug that in to this little converter, and it will put it on your network, not wirelessly. You do have to plug the device into your network. It is PoE if you want it to be PoE, but a great little device to bring webcams or any other camera that has a webcam out. And a lot of your high quality cameras are going to have that feature. So it lets you bring those in as NDI as well. If you didn't get a chance to answer my two questions for the evening, should I talk more about the Texas Rangers as defending World Series champions? I think yes. Really, it doesn't make any difference if you answer that question. I probably will talk about that a lot more in my upcoming videos. And who your favorite Major League Baseball team is has nothing to do with tonight's podcast, nothing to do with the lenses, but it's just something fun to talk about. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast this evening. Thanks to Gordon for being a part of it as well. And we will see you in a couple of weeks on Streamology Podcast number 5, where we will have Joe Capehart, Joe Mevo, as our in podcast guest, and he'll be able to shed a little light on some things and maybe answer some questions for you as well. So we look forward to seeing him and seeing you on the next podcast. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.